Let's bring in Rami Khouri, a distinguished public policy fellow at the American University of Beirut. He joins us live now from Doha. Rami, thank you very much for your time. Have you any idea why a detention centre housing African migrants might be a target in this case?
We don't know the exact reason. The likelihood is that it could have been a mistake or that they felt that it had some military purpose, or that it's just a way to traumatize and terrorize Yemenis to get them to stop doing what they're doing to support Gaza. I mean, there's so many different possibilities, but the fact is that this kind of rampant military, almost indiscriminate action, I mean, they've hit 800 targets. There are certainly not 800 serious military facilities that Ansarullah runs in Yemen for the Americans to attack. So this is the consequence of using the military as your main means of engaging with a organization that you consider is hostile to you, or they consider you hostile to them. This is a situation that requires diplomacy, specifically to stop the war in Yemen, which would stop the war in Gaza, which would stop the Yemeni attacks against ships that are linked to Israel.
Rami, you mentioned 800 or so targets there. Just how far will the US go, do you think? What do you think their strategy is here?
Well, we know from experience in Afghanistan and Vietnam and Iraq and other places that the US will go very far in showcasing its military power. It has immense military power with all kinds of sophisticated projectiles that it could use. It doesn't have much success in using military attacks from the air to bring about a political resolution on the ground. This is their problem. In Vietnam and Afghanistan and Iraq and other places, they ended up creating a terrible mess on the ground, which continues, to plague people today, environmentally, politically, and economically, and security-wise. So the real reasons for what is going on in Yemen between the United States and the Yemenis, the real reasons are in Gaza because of what Israel is doing against Gaza. That's why the Yemenis are fighting back. So until the Americans and the Israelis understand the importance of a ceasefire in Gaza and ending the plausible genocide, this kind of thing is going to keep happening. Civilians will get killed, civilian installations as well as some military sites will get destroyed, and there'll be huge problems with famine and disrupted electricity, medical supplies, etc.
Rami, how much is this, in your opinion, about US-Iranian relations rather than Houthis and Yemen?
It's really all linked together. It's about protecting Israel, suppressing the Palestinians, pushing back against alleged Iranian threats and hostile Iranian behavior towards the region and the US and Israel. There are many linked elements here, all of which are political in nature and should be resolved through political negotiations. But the Israelis refuse to do that, and the Americans support them because the Israelis want all of Palestine. They want to get the Palestinians out of Gaza, so they don't want to stop fighting. They've had many opportunities to get their hostages back, stop the assault on Gaza, ceasefire, and then long-term negotiations. They've turned down every opportunity that's been presented to them by Hamas, and the US has pretty much stood behind them. So this is the real problem, that Iran, Palestine, Israel, Yemen, these are all linked in one big dynamic, and the common denominator is Israel's aggressive ideology, and now it's occupying parts of Lebanon, parts of Syria. They want all of Gaza, and they're threatening Iran. So and they're in fight with Yemen. So this is the bigger issue that has to be resolved through a wider approach to conflict resolution.
Rami, really appreciate your thoughts here on TRT World. Rami Khouri speaking to us live there from Doha.